Now that we have our hand done, let's go ahead and attach it to the body. So I'm going to open the last body that we created. Go to Desktop, Exercise Files, Poly Modeling, and I believe the last body we created was called Polybody 06. That looks like it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and hide those image planes so we can see what we're doing. And now I'm going to import the hand that we created. So I'm going to go File, Merge. Now there's also an import, but what import does is it imports files of different types. Merge merges max files, which is what we want. I'm going to go up to Desktop, Exercise Files, Poly Modeling, Hand 02. Now it's going to ask me which objects I want to import. Well, the plane is just, that's the image plane. We don't need that. We just need the hand. So go ahead and click OK. And the hand looks pretty good. It's a little big, but we can certainly scale it and get it correct. So I'm going to go ahead and move this up towards the wrist here. This is a left hand. And then I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees. And let's look at what we have to attach here. Well, first, before I do that, I'm actually going to go ahead into a top viewport. And let's align this a little bit better. And let's also scale it. So I'm going to scale the whole hand. Now I can always rescale it once I get it attached, but I want to try and get it fairly close to the right size. Maybe a little bit smaller. There we go. Okay. So now in the perspective view, okay, let's take this on up here. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to look at the attachment spots that we have to create here. Now I'm going to go ahead, we are going to attach the low-res versions of the polygon, so I'm going to go ahead and select the mesh, and I'm going to delete the mesh smooth modifier that's on it for the mesh of the body. And then I'm going to go ahead and select the hand. So we select the hand, and we also delete the mesh smooth. Okay, now let's take a look at what we have. Here I have basically 4 faces on the edge of this wrist. And here I only have 2. So what I should probably do is make the hand fit the wrist. So what I want to do is create double this face here at the edge. So I'm going to do an edit mesh. And I want to basically cut an edge along here, create a new edge. So just like we've done before, I'm going to turn on snap, make sure I have it snapped to vertex and midpoint. And then I'm going to go down here under edge to cut, snap there, snap there, snap there. So now I have some edges. And now I have the same number of faces. So I'm going to turn off snap, select these faces, and now let's make a little bit of a wrist. What I want to do, this is pretty flat and wide, and what I really need to do is make sure that this matches this kind of arm stub. Although it seems like this arm stub is fairly tall this way, we're probably going to have to remodel both. But let's go ahead, I'm going to do one extrude. I'm going to select these faces here at the base of the hand. And I'm going to do one extrude, just give us a little bit of a transition. And then I'm going to scale this down just a bit. And I might even scale it up this way to give it a little bit more of an opening. that makes it kind of unnatural here. So I'm going to select these vertices here and scale those up a bit. So that way we have a little bit more of a natural transition into the wrist. So you can see that's looking more like a wrist now. Okay. So now I've got to attach A to B. So the best thing to do is to attach this to this. But before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and position it as closely as possible and get it at the right angle. So I'm going to look at it from the front view and pretty much move it in. And then I'm going to select this mesh here, and I'm going to create as close to a match as possible before I snap these together. Now this has actually got soft selection turned on for some reason. I'm going to turn that off. So we want to kind of match up this hole here. Seems like on the top here, we also want to make it a little bit wider. Okay. There we go. Now before I do anything, I am going to mirror this hand here, so that way I have it for the other side. We're going to do the same on the other side. Or if you want, you can just cut half the mesh and flop the body like we've done before, but I think I'm just going to go ahead and just mirror this hand, make it a copy. Oops. Copy, okay. And then move that over. We'll deal with that one later. So let's go ahead and attach it. Very simple. I'm going to select my body. Let's throw on an edit mesh here. And going to open up edit geometry, do an attach. So I'm going to attach the hand. Notice how it changes color. Now it's part of the body. And now we're going to delete, go to polygon. I'm going to select these faces at the end of the arm, delete them. So now I have a hole, and do the exact same thing on the hand. Delete. And now all we have to do is snap vertices and weld. So what I'm going to snap, what's going to snap to what? I think I'm going to snap these to this. So I'm going to go ahead and select this vertex. And now let's go ahead and turn on snap here. Turn off snap midpoint. Kind of hard to do sometimes in a perspective view, particularly when the vertices are so far away. But there, I snapped that. Now you do have to grab the exact vertex. There we go. Snap. Not too bad. Looking good. Oops. Grab that, snap it. There we go. You want to make sure you don't snap it to the underside of the arm. Notice how it kind of goes wacky because it's trying to snap to something else. But as soon as I get, there we go. Bam. That's not too bad. Okay, now all we have to do is weld. I'm going to select all these vertices here and do a weld selected. And now we have the hand is on attached to the body. Now I can refine this wrist a little bit. Like for example, I can see right here, I'm going to go into vertex and I can probably, in fact let's do that from the top view here. Probably move those back, give it more of a, but you get the idea. It pretty much is attached. And you just do the same for the other side. And you have your body is pretty much complete. I'm going to go ahead and attach the other hand, and we'll go ahead and save this out as Polybody 07, so you have that as reference. And then we'll move on to the next lesson.